All right, so live update on my tooth situation. Feeling significantly better. It's nice to be able to feel my tongue up to the roof of my mouth and notice that there is no longer a hole. And it feels significantly different. Even my bite feels different. My neck's been feeling different. I'm kind of feeling my body out, noticing all these different changes and sensations that have been arising. Your teeth, it's unbelievable how much your jaw alignment, whether you clench, if you're stressed, if you have an infected tooth, it can make a huge difference in your overall feeling physically. It's all connected. I can't understand why medical healthcare at this point in the, down the road. I mean, how much science do we need anymore to prove that the body is interconnected, that everything is like, hello, this affects that, and it's not like you can cut my head off and the teeth don't matter to the rest of my body, or my head doesn't matter. I mean, if you cut my head off, it's like the chicken. Blood's going to spurt everywhere, and I don't think the head's going to survive, and I don't think the body's going to survive. It's just going to be separated. I mean, Frankenstein, hello, but this is just what I consider logic, and I'm not trying to make too much sense out of it or analyze it. Some of the things that were fascinating to me was how the doctor was pointing out basically that when, one bad apple in the bunch spoils the rest. If you have an infection, if you have something going on with one tooth, it's almost like this cancer. I mean, this is kind of similar. It spreads. It makes all of your other teeth susceptible, because if there's bacteria in your mouth, that means your pH is off. That means that whatever you put in there, you need to neutralize. You need to find something that's going to kill off the bacteria, that's going to get rid of it in the sense that it doesn't go, oh, look, food. Because that's ultimately what it's doing, is eating away at the teeth. So something I forgot all about, but y'all have been so wonderful in reminding me, that oil pulling, Ayurvedic oil pulling. A lot of people have heard of it. I used to do it regularly. I don't even know why I stopped. Probably because it does take time and it does take effort. You put the oil in your mouth and you have to swish for 15, 20 minutes. If you do less, that's fine. You got to work up to it. But here's some of the benefits of oil pulling. Number one, it can reduce any inflammation. So what I've learned, and this is huge, because you just do the research. I'm not here to, tell anybody you need to believe what I have to say, because you need to do your own research. Inflammation. When there's inflammation in the body, what do you think inflammation is? Inflammation is the white blood cells are coming around because something is a foreign invader. I like to describe it as such and imagine it as such. You think of when you go for surgery, they have to have everything cleaned and sterilized so that nothing can come in. So they prepare, the surgeons, the doctors, they prepare the environment so that it's sterile, it's protected. It's almost like put a bubble around it. And then they go in and they do their work. This is how I visualize white blood cells, that they go in, they create a safe and sterile environment to buffer and keep things away. That's why things get swollen, because the white blood cells are trying to push and keep other things out. And inflammation means it's not going to allow other things in unless it's something familiar. So foreign invaders or even autoimmune disorders are a good example too, because it won't let anything in at that point. You don't even realize that we have our cells create waste as well. And we have to have a safe way to get rid of it. And a lot of times it's through our lymphatic system. and it has to move into those areas. So there's all these different factors involved of how do we carry the bacteria and the inflammation and the toxic waste that is created within our body out of the body. So you got the lymph system, which is in different areas, the armpits. That's why Kundalini Yoga does so many arm exercises, and this is the garbage pit of the mind, because this is a huge lymph area. Something that never made sense to me is people having to have the lymphatic system taken out or the lymph nodes taken out. Well, if there's some sort of a toxin in there, well, it's because your body's trying to get rid of it, and that's where the first place it's going to go. So it's protecting your body in the lymph system. I'm not even a doctor, and to me that just seemed absurd. And I watched my dad's wife have to have her lymph glands taken out of her arms and then wear sleeves to protect, because basically all the drainage and the fluid would go down her arm. They took out her body's natural ability to hold that waste, to eliminate it. So these are all important things, and I'm having to be constantly reminded. Sometimes I forget, we're human, and these are things I should know or remember, and I can beat myself up about them, but it's pointless. I am going to do oil pulling, and going back to the benefits. The first one, most important one, is it can combat disease, kill off bacteria, reduce inflammation. Inflammation, again, is basically your body creating a nice little buffer, saying, whoa, stop the press, we have to protect this area. We have foreign invaders, and we need to create a sterile environment so we can attack and keep them out and heal this area. The other one is it can combat bad breath. If you're somebody who suffers with chronic bad breath, it's another great example. Bad breath, everything's coming up from the stomach, and so it has a lot to do with your alkaline acid balance, your pH. It also has to do with foods. I'm still trying to learn what works best for my body. There is no right or wrong answer. I think a lot, what I'm really sitting with is that, and I shared this with the video the other day, a lot of things start in the mind. We wouldn't have toxicity in our mind, in our body, if we didn't start with some sort of toxin in our mind. And so I'm wondering, because the doctor did point out I have inflammation up here. Again, I'm not very big, but I can look at my fingers and I can know when I'm inflamed. I know when I feel heavier than normal, or that I'm retaining water. Ladies, you can feel me on this one. The other things that the oil pulling is good for, it actually increases your metabolism first thing in the morning. Because what you do is you stimulate the salivary glands, and because you're creating this movement of your mouth, your body's like, oh, we're getting ready to do some things here. Like, we're setting our bodies up to burn energy, to need fuel. I never really cared for the whole sesame oil, but that's the original oil that Ayurveda uses. So what I used to do is I would mix the coconut oil with the sesame oil and kind of reduce because this particular one that I have is a toasted one. It's ideal if you get a raw sesame oil. It's in a little container because I had a big container of sesame oil. Trying to think what else. What else is it good for? It's good. Supposedly, it's good to reduce if you have any types of cavities or stains on your teeth. It's also supposed to be good for whitening. Who'd have thunk? So I have some areas that seem very small and minuscule. Let's see if I start oil pulling, if those areas clear up. This is my own personal challenge that I'm taking upon myself. And I'm also challenging those of you out there that I have heard from that have told me you're also experiencing dental issues. Let us all do the oil pulling challenge. Get some sesame oil or coconut oil. You only need a tablespoon. What happens is when you start swishing it in your mouth, it starts, again, like I said, activating the salivary gland, so you're going to end up with a whole lot more fluid in your mouth than what you start out with when you put the oil in. And the ideal is you're trying to push it in between the teeth. You're not like opening. You know when you rinse your mouth with mouthwash? A lot of people, you're moving your teeth around. No, the point of oil pulling is to keep your mouth closed, your teeth closed down, and to move it between and around. So you're really stimulating all of the gums, because it's supposed to help prevent gum disease and, again, kill any bacteria that may be causing issues with your gums. So, and you're trying, and I know I have tight gap. I have such tightness between my teeth, not really wide gaps, that I've done this before, and it's a struggle. It's like you got to work it to get that oil to come through. It doesn't taste the greatest, but hey, it is what it is. Start out slow. If you can't do it for more than 5 minutes, just work your way up. I have walked around the house and done it for like 30 plus minutes before, because you can do things while you're doing it. You just got to remind yourself to keep being very diligent, and I don't want to say overly aggressive, but you are having to be aggressive because it's some work in your mouth, and it works the muscles. So that's another thing. You're getting a face exercise too. It's really important to exercise the jaw and the facial muscles. So this is all getting worked. We're going to do this together, but I'm not going to hold you through 20 minutes of this, by the way, because I'm not going to be able to talk. Once this is in my mouth, basically it's like sayonara to the, vocals. I can read your comments if you have any. If you have any questions, please let me know. And share my videos and my fundraiser if you can't donate. And if you have donated, all of you beautiful people, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you again from the bottom of my heart. Thank you, Manda, because it means the world to me that I get this taken care of and I can sit with a calm mind, because honestly, it's been years I haven't had my teeth worked on, and I'm just thanking those who are making it possible. So, without further ado, any questions, let me know in the comments. Hopefully, if you ask them before I start, I can answer them verbally. Otherwise, I'll have to get back to you after the video and after I'm done oil pulling. I'm going to do this for like 20 minutes. And some of the things I can get done is I can wash my face. I won't be able to do my chanting meditation. I'll do that afterward. But ultimately, you can make it's called multitasking. I know the ladies, it's very common for us to try to do a million things at once anyway. You got house cleaning to do, you can do it first thing in the morning, you can do it at night. I used to do it at night. I used to do it in the morning, but for me in the morning, sometimes I'm just like 20 minutes. That's kind of sometimes difficult with the whole idea of not talking, and my mind's busy to do in my practice. So, sesame oil or coconut oil, or you can mix them, your preference. A teaspoon, tablespoon, depends on how big your mouth is. I'm going to do, it's really strong because this is toasted, I told you. It's still going to work. Because here's the thing, it will kill the bacteria in your mouth. Certain oils are more powerful than others. And I know there's other things you can probably add. You don't have to go overboard. Just keep it simple. Oh, this is what I wanted to say. I was pausing going, I know there's something else I need to say. After your 20 minutes of oil pulling, the most important thing you're going to do is spit it out and clean out your mouth. And here's the thing. You don't want to put it down the drain. Those of you out there, I want you to understand, building managers, maintenance guys, and plumbers have told me the number one cause of drainage, blockages, and backups have been from oil. Because oil and hair are the two things that create like an expansion and get stuck in drain pipes. Don't spit it down the drain. Spit it out in the trash or outside somewhere. Because now what you've got is a whole bunch of mouthful of bacteria and toxins, and you want to get rid of that stuff. One of the great things, if you have a spoon, a spoon or a tongue scraper. I don't like what they sell personally, the tongue scrapers, because the tongue scrapers have like a hole in the middle, and it's like, it almost looks like to me a razor without a blade. But I personally have a spoon that was my Grammy's from many, many years ago. I'm sure that this is like everybody's seen these styles. There's a little bit of a roughness so that it feels like when I do this, it literally, see, I got white on my tongue. Something is going on in my body. I know that. That's a form. If you have white on your tongue, it can be a buildup of yeast. It is a bacteria. It is a byproduct of toxins. Using a spoon, you collect the whole thing. Using a tongue scraper, what I experienced was it just goes over the scraper and then you're not getting it scooped out. So I'm going to show you. Hello? That's all white creaminess. Makes a huge difference. You get that stuff out of there. That's toxin, that's gross. Yeah. So, like I said, spit it in the trash or outside somewhere, but don't put it down the sink and cause yourself some sort of plumbing disaster. I don't care if you rent or you own. You just take care of your drains. That's actually energetic too, by the way. So, oil pulling, are you ready to start? Who's going to join me? And that would be really cool if somebody came on and wanted to talk and I'm just oil pulling. Okay. I'm going to do a tablespoon. That's a little bit more than a tablespoon. Don't swallow it. You got to clean your entire mouth out when you're done doing this. And you want to rinse really well and get it all out of your mouth. That's what I forgot to say. And when you do it, you could go. I would take a toothbrush and do baking soda if you want. And it'll be creamy white by the time you're done too. Because see the color of it now? It turns creamy white when you're done. It's gross. Okay, I said I wasn't going to talk. Well, I remember the reason you didn't. This is a lot more viscous, meaning it's thicker than coconut oil. So this is harder to pull, by the way. 20 minutes. Good work on a back teeth are really important too, because you got to really move it around front, back, everything. See what I mean? Look what color it is. It's creamy, right? It doesn't taste good. I have my moments.
It's a mouth workout, by the way. That's why it's hard to do 20 minutes if you haven't done this before. Try not to swallow it. It doesn't taste good if you accidentally do. Don't put any alcohol mixed with the oil. Keep it simple. Don't add any of that. I've done half and half, Kayla. It's better. Dip your toes. This is an entirely different lifestyle, and it's an effort at first. Ugh. Look, keep on twishing the same thing. You can't change it. It'll be harder. Oh. Mmm. Mmm. Mm-hmm.
93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, ooh. 93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, ooh. 93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, ooh. 93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, ooh. 93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, ooh. 93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, ooh. 93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu, ooh, habibu.
Mm-hmm. You can go really messy.
93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, ooh. 93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, ooh. 93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, ooh. 93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, habibu, ooh, ooh. 93% of people like you take their phones when they go to the loo. Habibu.
wow. That's some creamy, nasty, yucky stuff going on down there. So that was comical. I didn't expect to do it that long. I don't have a clue about how long that took, but I'm going to tell you right now, a couple times, it very close, almost swallow, gross, yuck. See, you even noticed your teeth color afterward. I don't know if you can see that. Ugh. So, like, see what I mean by creamy white? And it also, because what happens is you're bringing the blood vessels to the surface in your gums and on the inside of your mouth. So when the blood vessels are closer to the surface, you get more oxygen in there. And with more oxygen, the bacteria can't live. The bacteria can't live in an oxygen-rich environment. Just very important stuff. Ah. It'll bring up any phlegm you got in the back of your mouth too, by the way. So, I was going to do this earlier, so I didn't mean to do this so late. I wanted to walk Buddy around the corner. Oh. Ugh. I'm just telling you, it does not taste good. At all. At all. Enough. Alright, so that was enough for that. And then, if you have, you're not going to spit it down the drain, but if you have a toothbrush, I'm glad you found it entertaining, Kayla. Like I said, it is quite the experience. And while you're doing it, like I said, the saliva increases. It adds to the amount of liquid. So when you first start with a tablespoon of, whether it's coconut oil mixed or just coconut oil or sesame oil is thicker. It's more viscous. There's more density. It's a lot harder to get it between the teeth. And with the coconut oil, it's a lot looser, so you don't feel like you're working as hard. But it's still a workout, and you are working those muscles. And it's like, the jaw, you will feel it. And it's kind of comical, and I did lift my back molars especially. Oh, it's still tender. I didn't realize it's starting to feel the tenderness in my jaw today. I didn't feel it all day until now, until I'm touching it. I have a little bit of a burp thing going on. So I've got baking soda on my toothbrush. Then I'm just going to bring it around the gum line. All along the teeth. To get all that crap out there to neutralize it. Oh my goodness, that is not a fun taste. I'm just gonna say it now. But you immediately feel like if you do this in the morning and you're trying to stimulate your first morning movement, your first BM of the day, this will do it. Because I'm over here going, toilet's next to me. Would they see me if I sit down on it? But you can get pretty creative. Like I said, you can get a lot of things done around the house. I do my teeth in my... You can also take some baking soda and water in your mouth and just swish it around. I don't ever use the tap water in my mouth unless I'm in the shower where I have the actual filter. You see the difference? Smile, pretty whites. This might be easier if I do this. And I don't know if you can see. And the one tooth filled in, it feels so much better. It makes a huge difference. And like I said, again, thank you for those of you out there that have been supporting, because without my tooth getting fixed the other day, it's been near impossible to eat anything without getting food all caught up in it. that little hole. I do have a gap right between here where my fingernails are that is catching a little bit, and tonight I had a salad, and when I have the salad, it's like all the greens were stuck up in there. So she's supposed to on Monday, if I raise enough money to get the other tooth behind it and the back of the tooth that she repaired fixed, she's gonna go in there and smooth out any rough edges, because literally she had a half an hour to work with me, so I almost feel like it was a little rush job, but I'm just grateful it got done. I felt good about the care. I didn't feel any pain. Felt really weird having a numb face, but we'll see how I feel tomorrow. This is my mouth guard. This cost me like $3,000 just to have this made, because with the government, the military taking out my wisdom teeth, it left me with the popping. In fact, this morning when I woke up, I went to go move my mouth, and literally this entire left side went pop, crackle, and it was the weirdest sensation, because I don't recall ever having had it happen on my left side. I've always had a pop on the right, and sometimes it's been excruciatingly painful. But on the left side, the pop that happened, it almost felt like a chip of tooth came out. It was the weirdest thing. I almost felt like something popped out, but hopefully it was nothing. So thank you for joining tonight. I will keep you posted as the days go on and how things are feeling, because I think it's important that we talk about when you have work done, if you start to notice it in your physical body. And as I was saying earlier, I was noticing my neck when I was doing the oil pulling too. I was feeling little crackles and little releases. And when I walked Buddy earlier, I could feel the occipital ridge of my back at the base of my head. The tenderness that I've been feeling for a while was going away. I was like just massaging along the base of my skull and underneath. For anybody who's ever had cranial sacral work, which is really powerful, that's a great way to get rid of inflammation. It's a great avenue to go to. I may have to look into something like that just to get the spinal fluid moving again properly, and to get the inflammation carried out of my body as opposed to sitting and stagnant with toxins. So this is my night guard. I'm going to get ready and go to bed. You'll have a wonderful evening. Again, thank you. God bless you. Sweet dreams. I pray for you. Thank you for your prayers. I thank you for your support, sharing, inviting my fundraiser, as well as donating. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Good night.